Sports Show is on the air. Mike Max, Patrick Reusse, Lavelle E. Neal, and Sid Hartman. A lot to talk about tonight. The Twins, the Wild get into the playoffs, the Timberwolves make news, and on the NFL draft, and of course, your favorite topic, spring football. You came out of there fairly encouraged.
Well, they had some people there anyway. They actually had about 8,400 people. That's the most they've had since Holtz used to sell out the Metrodome.
Yeah.
And nothing more boring than football scrimmage.
I agree, man. Spring football is very difficult to get into. Coaches love it, but for the fan.
I don't know. They had a lot of people there compared to what they've had other years. And Hageman didn't let him play. Didn't let some key guys play.
Yeah.
So what do you know?
Well, the other problem is every time somebody does well in a spring football game, it means somebody's not doing well on the other side, and they're on the same team. So it's hard to break them down. Patrick, the NFL draft, the Minnesota Vikings land 3 in the first round.
Yeah, only the second time in franchise history. Now, the last time, 67, they were 3 in the top 15, and the third one was Alan Page. So
really?
That's a pretty good player.
Yeah,
it's, we don't know, but the fact that this defensive lineman fell all the way to 23 was good for them, for sure. I don't know, the wide receiver, he's apparently a good athlete who... you got to be able to point him in the right direction. Correct.
Monte Teo, they kept saying your Chicago Bears were going to take your Chicago Bears. Some people were saying that, oh no, Vikings might not get a crack at him because here nobody wanted him.
No, he ended up going to San Diego in the second round. I think San Diego traded up to get him. And I don't know if it was a smokescreen or what, but it was rather intriguing to see him and Geno Smith and how they kind of fell as the draft went. So Manti's out west. He's not far from Hawaii, and he can get his career going now.
Do you think, though, I mean, as much as people knew about him and as much as maybe people even liked him, Patrick, at the end of the day, it was really hard to cast that ballot?
Oh, I don't think it was anything to do with the invisible girlfriend. I think it was all the Alabama game. They all saw him against the Alabama. First of all, his measurables weren't good at the combine. Right. And he didn't make a play when he got in against a great team. So I think those things had more to do with him than being goofy. Hey, the Ogletree guy, much better athlete.
Yeah.
He didn't get drafted till, what, 30?
Well, he's got off-field issues, too.
Well, so what?
It doesn't matter.
How about Matt Barkley, though, last year to this year, where he would have gone last year and where he went this year?
That's amazing, too, considering the quarterback class wasn't as strong this year. This would be the year for him to really stand out, but he just didn't.
I kind of agree with Suhan's column today. I don't know, they give up a second, a third, a fourth, and seventh. The guy's got to be pretty good. And there were a lot of wide receivers available after him, some with not the personal problems they had. So time will tell.
I had a long talk with this young man, Patterson you're talking about.
Yeah.
He does not lack for confidence. And he reminds me, well, all those wide receivers, though. I've never met a wide receiver taken in the first round that wasn't highly confident, but I also think they think he's a great return guy.
Tennessee didn't have any great football team.
No, Gruden just tore him apart after they drafted him. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, but this, to me, I'm a big believer in difference makers. I don't care about losing a 2 and a 3 and a 7.
Yeah.
I want a difference maker. I want a guy, when he's on the field, he's going to make me a lot better. And I don't care about depth or any of that stuff. You can find warm bodies all over. This guy's not a warm body. He's a player. And, if he keeps his head anywhere near screwed on straight, they got a difference maker, and that's what I'm looking for.
You know what I felt like I was talking to when I was talking to him? Corn Robinson.
Really?
Corn got a second chance here, and for a while, he was good. So that takes
Corn
me...
was a sociopath, though.
But didn't he get caught driving 100 miles on ice at 169?
Corn could talk to you, and you'd think he was the nicest gentleman of all time, but he was BSing you every time he said something.
Right? And this guy, we don't know yet if he is or not.
All we know is that he's been inconsistent and he's taking off plays in college.
So at the end of the day, you take Percy Harvin, for example. Is that a great first-round draft pick that the Vikings made when they took him? How would you characterize something like that, where you get a couple years and then?
How do you know? I mean, really. I mean, how many guys break in right away and play?
No, I know what you're saying, but my point is Percy Harvin a great first-round pick?
Yep.
I think so too.
The production, definitely.
He had a lot to do with taking you to an NFC title game, and you got a lot for him when you traded him.
And you got
what's the
first-round
complaint
pick.
about?
They had to fight through the migraine issues with him and keep him on the field and keep him going to practices.
Among
but
other
when he
things,
was on
yeah.
the field, the man was hard to stop.
Those migraines were really bad sometimes.
Yeah.
He missed a lot of practices. Take a break, come back. The Sports Show. There it is, locally owned, nationally known. On your way to a Twins game, stop on by J.D. Hoyt, say hi to Pat and the gang. They got it going on all summer.
100 steps from target field by
Yep.
official calculation.
Of Dark Star.
Who measured it?
Dark did. He
Dark Star.
stepped them off.
Yep.
100.
Well, Sidney, the Twins showed some life this week.
Yeah, the pitching is pretty good. Texas is a pretty good ball club. There's a lot of sluggers. And the starting pitching and their bullpen was great. They still don't score a lot of runs, but they got pretty good pitching this week.
I thought Correa going 8 scoreless today was amazing, considering the strike zone the guy had a strike zone the size of this cup, for God's sakes. Who was that?
It was that wasn't Wally Bell. It was someone
That
else.
pitch, no, it wasn't Wally Bell, but the 3-2 pitch that put him in trouble was brutal.
Oh yeah, that was a bad pitch.
It was strike 3. You're out.
Correa's unbelievable because he's not afraid to throw inside and he works fast. And I was talking to him because I always thought he threw a sinker. He really doesn't throw a sinker. He throws a split finger pitch, and then he's got a cutter, and he takes something off his cutter. It becomes a slider. It's weird how he does this, but he had everybody thrown off. Adrian Beltre has hammered him in the past, and he struck out Beltre with the 2 runners on. I thought that was a big. They beat
Beltre is struggling right now. It's actually a home run the other day.
So the Twins starting rotation has been functional except for Pelfrey. I mean, I was talking to Rick Anderson today. He's like, I'm coming in the park every day now thinking we got a shot here because
I don't want to get
these
too
guys are getting
giddy,
blown
though.
out.
They're going to Detroit, and they're facing Scherzer, Verlander, and Sanchez. Go get them, fellas.
And they finished that trip at Boston, and the Red Sox.
By the way, what's wrong with Cleveland?
You know, Cleveland's once Ubaldo Jimenez won. I mean, they made the trade for Jimenez, and he has not turned it around. He's been a train wreck at the beginning of the year. Their offense and their daily lineup's okay, but their pitching staff is
How
still
about
shaky.
Toronto, the world champions of December? They're 9-17. Meanwhile, the Yankees have won what, 9 out of 10 or something?
And they got so many guys hurt. It's
Every
unbelievable.
time I pick up the paper, though, it looks like Travis Hafner's got a big hit or a home run for him.
Yeah,
He's helped them a lot.
Vernon Wells has been hitting well for them.
They just lost a catcher and they lost a pitcher.
Yeah.
And they got center fielders out, Jeter's out, first baseman's out.
baseman's out. It's amazing.
Third baseman.
Overbay today they've signed him. You thought he was the all-time joke. He hit a 2-run homer off Dickey to win the game.
They have Brendan Bosch in right field. He's he's terrible.
Boy, though, it's veterans all the time, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Except for Gardner, who they brought up. They just fill with these guys that have been around forever, and Eric Chavez. And
Tell you who's in big trouble, boys. Trevor Plouffe.
Yep.
They're sick of watching him play third base.
Yep.
let's see why.
Yeah.
Oh, that ball he olayed the other day was brutal.
Blue's gone.
And then he couldn't move off the bag to catch the one throw from Parmley either.
He might be on the bench, but you're not going to see him a lot at third, I don't think.
On the other hand, Dozier looks like he's found a spot.
Oh, man, he's playing loose. He looks like he's having a good time out there.
Soft hands, soft feet.
He's making plays in the field, and he's batting .364 since
Why
batting
don't they
leadoff
play
now.
Carroll more?
But Carroll started today, Sid.
I know he did.
Well, they
but I
will
mean,
play
why-
him more. Him and Escobar will play third base
Yeah.
if Plouffe's not playing there. You're going to have that 2006 little midget infield again.
Yeah, you are.
Cujo, Bartlett,
The Piranhas,
and
huh?
Castillo. Yep, the Piranhas are back.
I agree with your blog the other day. The Twins got more in return for Liriano than they did Johan Santana.
Yes, they did.
You nailed it right on the head out there.
Isn't that something? It does look like that right now, doesn't it?
Escobar
It
and
is.
Hernandez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pedro Hernandez goes, 5-6 solid innings the other night. And little Escobar, I'm starting to call him the little hammer, does not get cheated on the swing.
How's Mike Redmond doing in Miami?
He's holding on, man. I mean, he's trying to win with little talent. Giancarlo Stanton's hit 3 homers in 2 days now. So now they look,
Well, his problem is he got a goofy owner.
yeah,
Guy
he does.
Goofy.
Guy traded all the good players
Yeah,
away.
give me a stadium, then I'll trade all my players away, right?
He's trying to win
Yeah.
with a lot of inexperienced
like
players.
Calvin moving to the new Metrodome, and he trades Smalley and Weininger.
That's
Yeah,
right.
But he got some players in
He got some
exchange.
players and won a World Series 5 years later. But
It's too bad the Twins couldn't figure out a way to keep him in the organization after he stopped playing. Or get him in the organization.
Who?
Redmond.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's just if you're going to have your first manager job, that's not the one you want.
I don't know. I don't want to have to read the story about him walking naked through the locker room one more clubhouse one more. That was funny. That was funny, I guess.
Dave St. Peter told me that guy in Miami's getting about $40 million in revenue sharing. Why should he care about winning?
You're right, but the whole idea of being a part of this Major League Baseball is that you're supposed to care about winning.
Baseball would love to get him out of there, but
they have not been able to build a fan base there because after their 2 World Series titles, they've tore down the team each time, and now they tore down the team a third time a year after moving to a new. How are you supposed to develop a fan base and develop some sort of bond with your fan base when you're doing stuff like that?
Hispanic fella to buy that.
Yeah.
Yes, Artie Moreno.
Miami's the Dolphin territory, but even they don't sell out all the time.
No.
The Heat, because the Heat are really good. That's about it, right? They're kind of a funny sports market.
They
got to be.
Yeah.
They better be.
Dolphins are trying to get a lot of money to remodel that stadium.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a stadium Joe Robbie built, though. That's still a great stadium.
Take a break, come back, stay with us. You heard the man Quattro and much more. Perfect time. Change in seasons. Change into something you'll enjoy. Turn that vent on. A6, A8, Q7, Q5. Just stop by Audi, visit with Bruce Bonine and the staff. You'll be sold, and you'll see why they're selling in record numbers. The Minnesota Wild, the good news is they made the playoffs. The bad news is they play the Blackhawks. Let's start with this regular season, Sid, as you look back on it.
Let's look at this situation. I don't think there's any doubt that they didn't make the playoff. The general manager was gone. The coach was gone.
You think the GM was gone, too?
Huh?
You think Fletcher was gone, too?
I think so. I think this guy is sick of asking the partners for money. And without getting in the playoff, they're going to lose more money again. And I think they're gone. They say was it you or somebody wrote that he got so upset in the Edmonton game, he left his suite and went sat with Fletcher.
Yeah, but
Fletcher wasn't there.
Fletcher left.
Yeah, Fletcher wasn't there when that happened.
Fletcher wasn't there when he went up to see Fletcher.
Oh, is that right?
So Leopold wasn't
Fletcher had somebody at the elevator who buzzed him and he ran out.
That's right. He
tipped him off.
This guy's
wants to win.
Behind the scenes is a high involvement owner.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize this, but the playoffs in the NHL is where you make your money.
Well, they don't really gouge you on the ticket prices terribly the first 2 rounds, but if you can make it to the 3rd round, it's Cash City.
Yep.
But he still gets about $1.25 million a gate for a home game. So
so you just do the math on that, and that's usually
he can
profit.
get 3 home games. If he can beat the Blackhawks enough to make a 7-gamer, that's $4 million.
It's huge. Yep.
Yeah, I remember the Twins were in town.
By the way,
playing.
Blackhawks are your team.
That's right. But you know, in hockey, if you get the goalie who gets hot and you get the defense in front of him, these 8 seeds can knock off a 1 seed. It happened last year. So
I know what you're
Hawks
saying. I appreciate it.
I know.
You think a black kid from the south side of Chicago really even knew the Blackhawks existed until he got up here to agitate it? Until you got up here to agitate us? You know?
I grew up watching all the pro sports. I watched the Sting. I watched all the teams out of Chicago.
You ain't got many winners there, Lavelle.
Oh, really? Compared to Minnesota?
Hey, speaking of
Talking about your Chicago buddies.
Speaking of Chicago,
Bulls were the team
you know
of the
who's
80s.
the best
The
coach in
Blackhawks
the
won.
NBA?
Thibodeau.
Tom Thibodeau.
Yes.
Is the best coach in the
Timberwolves.
NBA.
He's winning with less, better than anyone.
You must have known him well when he was with the Timberwolves, huh, Thibodeau?
With Mussy?
To Timberwolves?
When Tom Thibodeau, the Bulls coach, was with Musselman, did you get to know him pretty well?
That championship
the Chicago
team,
Bulls
Sid.
coach now?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think he's pretty, as Patrick said, obviously they've taken Brooklyn and taken him apart a couple times.
He got Noah, his best player. Well, his best player won't play, and his second best
It's
player is
hobbled.
playing on 1 foot.
And they go, what, 140 to 134?
Nate Robinson is winning games for him.
But I got to
I
say,
watched that 4th quarter. 23 points in the 4th quarter.
this doggone Flip Saunders, though, I feel sorry for him. I mean, he tries to keep everything a secret.
Yes,
it always
right.
leaks out when
I don't know how it happened.
The only way
handicap the Flip Saunders situation.
The only way he will not be general manager of this team if Adelman, however you pronounce it, if he says if Saunders comes aboard, I leave. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he'll be here.
Why would Adelman leave?
Why would Adelman say that?
Why would he say that?
Because Glenn Taylor's been butting up with Flip all year, checking everything with him all year. Can't make a move without Flip. And Flip has never said no, like he on ESPN when he made his statement. He didn't deny
Well,
it.
he wants it. That's not the
It
question.
was a non-denial denial on ESPN.
Yeah, but what he
do you think it
ultimately-
happens this week or not?
I don't know, but what he ultimately wants is to be coach again. He don't want to be a GM, and he knows, this is a pretty good spot. Edelman's, even if he comes back next year, probably only going to go another year or two.
Why would Edelman walk away from Ricky Rubio
I don't think he's going to walk
Kevin
away
Love
from it.
and Kevin Love
unless,
healthy?
Unless, and I talked to Edelman a lot during the year, and he's a pretty private guy, but I mean, he would glow about this team and about the situation he has here in Minnesota because he doesn't have that much pressure on him.
Do they have
I heard they got some good news on the missus too.
They've been waiting,
from Mayo Clinic.
and what everybody says is as long as she gives him a blessing at all, he's coaching.
Did they get the draft
What
pick again?
assurance do they have having a good team next year? Pekovic, he's a free agent.
They're going to sign
They'll
him.
sign him.
Huh?
They're going to sign him.
Well, there's no assurance, but what's your point?
Russian guy's a free agent.
Yeah, but okay, but they got draft picks and all that stuff too. But what's your point?
The point is they might not re-sign those three guys. And what kind of team?
They're
they
going to
got?
sign Pekovic. They can sign Pekovic. He can't walk away. They can equal any offer.
Yeah,
and they're
restricted
gonna
free
Will they
agent.
match 12
Yes.
million?
Yes.
Okay.
And then they'll trade Love after next year.
Do they have other draft picks next year?
Yeah, two picks.
2 picks.
So
I don't think
no more Marco Yerrick draft pick
And I don't
compensation?
think they're going to
So
let
they're in the
David
lottery.
Kahn have any influence in making those 2 picks. He screwed up enough of them.
And nor do I think he's had any influence the last 18 months, except to make sure bills get paid and they stay at the right hotels or whatever.
So you're saying that's it for Khan? He's dead man walking.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, last week, in the middle of the week, there were people inside the organization that thought he was coming back.
Really?
So
Who's coming back?
that Khan might be. Take a break, come back, stay with us. That's right, stay thirsty this Thursday, May 2nd. The big celebration, live country music from Nashville, recording artist Brandon Allen, taco eating contest, salsa dancing, Lavelle, and drink specials.
I'm down for it.
$4. Yeah.
Bar Abilene, man.
Bar Abilene.
Hey.
This Thursday.
Yeah,
Wayne
but
Kostrowski. Go
So
ahead.
Maxie, the Big Ten realigns today.
Yeah.
They announced it officially, and I hope Sid is as upset as me. They're basically destroying the Little Brown Jug rivalry.
Yeah,
the biggest
yeah,
rivalry
horrible.
we have. Why
Travesty.
didn't they're preserving the Indiana-Purdue rivalry for the bucket. Why don't they preserve the Little Brown Jug and let us play Michigan every year?
You're lucky you don't have to play them.
Oh, I
Wow,
bet
see,
Jerry Kill and
enabler.
Teague. I bet Jerry Kill and Teague were extremely upset
Yeah,
they don't
no
get to
more
play
Michigan.
every year.
Well, they'll play one every once.
You know what's
Yeah, every once in a while. Let's have a crossover game. Let's protect. I think you and I should
Well, they
campaign.
got a crossover game.
I think you and I
Wisconsin.
should. No, there's not. Wisconsin's now in our division.
Oh, now in the new
The
arena.
only crossover game is Indiana and Purdue. But if you and I work hard, we can get Michigan back
on the
as an
schedule.
Annual crossover game.
Is
What
that
do you say?
a cause you can get behind? A cause you can get
You know what
behind.
Jerry Kill says? If you don't play the best, if you don't play the best, you can't beat the best.
Yeah. Well, I love the Michigan-Minnesota games. Going,
You
that's
did,
my
yeah, you
favorite.
did. That was about it.
That's my favorite.
I got Woody Teague in the meeting
favorite
saying,
stadium.
we have to play Michigan.
I'm still trying to return my North Carolina tickets.
When they play that hail to the.
Hail
to the victory.
Yeah, you know what I heard this week? The next two that they're talking to are John Hopkins and Duke. And they're going to try to get some kind of get that TV market and get a lacrosse league in play somehow and just make this thing a giant.
Yeah, but
I don't
the
think that's gonna
ACC just got everybody
Right.
to sign
commit.
up
Yeah.
to 2023.
But there's
You
an
can't get out of it.
ESPNU contract, and they said it's not that big with
You
John
can't
Hopkins
get out
and
of
Duke.
it.
That's what I was told.
I talked to the president of the University of Minnesota. There's no additions for a while.
I think that,
Oh, they'll take additions if they can
they
get
would.
the
them.
new
Yeah.
ACC deal killed the Virginia, North Carolina.
Well, what's John
Georgia
Hopkins?
Tech. They don't play football.
No,
They just
but
play
there was
girls'
there's
sports.
some new idea
They
to
play
bring them
lacrosse.
in.
Oh, good.
So that now
Let's-
you've got an East Coast Lacrosse League within the Big Ten.
Well, if they take
I don't
them in,
think so.
they might take them in just as a team to play lacrosse. But
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that's going to happen.
But if you don't think they're looking for new members, are you kidding me?
Not right now, they are.
Ah, baloney. If there's money in a market with it, a
I'll
TV
tell you
market
who'd
with
love to.
They just the two they
I know
had
what
and
you're
haven't
saying,
played the
but-
game yet.
UConn and Cincinnati are the two that are begging, but
Sitting
they
there.
don't want Cincinnati. I think they'd take UConn.
In all sports, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, UConn's competitive.
Well, I think
football.
Pittsburgh would be interested
We're
too,
going to
right?
go, though.
No,
Okay?
Pittsburgh's on the ACC.
Back
That's
next week.
right.
Thanks, everybody.